Yeah, I share the same sentiments, but I want to add that I think what drives all this desire to tax Kenyans is the budget. They want to address the budget deficit. That has been a major challenge. This fiscal deficit has gone up to 9% of some time back, and they've always said we are going every year when the budget is read, we are committed to reducing the deficit to 3%, but it doesn't happen. And it's the biggest challenge, really, that we have. And I think, in my view, our constitution is very clear that the burden of taxation must be shared equitably and fairly between us and the future generation. You cannot say, I want to tax Kenyans to the bone in order to build infrastructure for tomorrow's generation. I think in any country, the decision is always made by the people on how much money should be left in their pockets and how much they are willing to invest for the future. And if you look at Chapter 10 of ours, we made that very clear as one of our key values in the public finance, that the burdens and benefits of the use of resources and public borrowing shall be shared equitably. But we have a situation where when the government says we want to do this for tomorrow, we want to do this for tomorrow, you guys pay the money, pay the money, pay the money. I think that concept really is the biggest challenge we have, so this attempt to try and tax everybody, it's really, I agree, there's nothing to add. It really demotivates the businessman, because it's not just about paying the 3%. It's hassle even getting to pay. If you deal with KRA, the whole process of dealing with KRA itself, administratively and it's emotionally, it's difficult, and you have cash flow problems. You are getting money, yes, you might be running your kiosk, but you have supplied 2 or 3 fellows and you have not been paid. KRA wants his cash. You have challenge. In developed countries, banks lend on trust. You can borrow money on the basis of the furniture in your room.
Yes.
We have a situation where in Africa, or particularly in countries like ours, where even if you have assets and properties and what have you, because of the challenges in securitization of some of these things, the collaterals are not, so the banks are not willing to give you money. And so you have to operate on little money. In fact, most of the people whom they want to tax 3% operate on cash.
Yes.
They are not people who borrow, because banks are not going to lend to them. So then when you have that cash flow problem, then you're required to pay upfront. I think it's a challenge, and I think really the government needs to look at the bigger picture. Is let us live within let's live within our means. If we live within our means, yes, then you can also, because the legacy is not about just building infrastructure. I think a better legacy is to leave your people happy.
Correct.
To leave your people having a better well-being, people having their own resources. You don't have to be feeding people, family relief, and buying. I think the better legacy is to leave Kenyans who are able to spend, who are able to buy a cup of tea, who can send their kids to school, who can pay their school fees. What's the point of taxing this person? And tomorrow you are trying to get again bursary to pay fees for his child or her child. It doesn't make sense.
All right. So how